And this whole thing with Mr. Abreu Garcia, it's that old wisdom and terrifying is if you're not speaking up for this man, there will be no one left to speak up for you.
We do not disappear people in the United States because here's the thing. If they can disappear Mr. Abreu Garcia, then they can disappear you.
And Donald Trump could not be airlifted to another country and just deported from the United States because he's a criminal convict. And this guy was never convicted of anything, has no criminal record at all.
They love illegals. And their newest hero is the gangbanger we sell to El Salvador. It is something else. Joining me now, Victor Avila, retired special ICE agent. Victor, it just must be so exhausting when you're in ICE or Border Patrol trying to do things and to have these scumbags working against you all the time. It has to be just the most disheartening thing in the world.
Well, it's disheartening and it's despicable. That's what it is. And I don't remember, Jesse, anyone saying anything, the Democrats or the mainstream media, ever, not once, coming up and speaking loud about the 3 million or so that Obama deported or the millions that Bill Clinton deported. Never heard a word. But now, because President Trump is getting rid of these bad actors in our country, they have a problem with it. This is their inconsistency on the left. The American people recognize that. No one, I could tell you, no one is against public safety. We all want public safety. It benefits all of us. And when you start siding and doubling down by siding with the bad guy, criminal, terrorist, by the way, they can't seem to get it in their thick heads that these people are terrorists. They have been designated as such, and that doesn't seem to be enough. But I've been saying this, why don't we replace MS-13 with ISIS? What would be the difference there? To me, there's none, absolutely. But if you would say ISIS, are they going to be protecting ISIS members? Is that where we're going to now? Because that's exactly what they're doing.
Victor, how do we get through this as a country? Meaning, how do we get through it when one of the two political parties is committed to bringing in as many foreigners as humanly possible, and half of the other parties too weak to stop them from doing so? Look, I love the things Donald Trump is doing, but it seems like we're bailing water on the Titanic sometimes with this.
It certainly does. I think that it's going to be what we're going to see with our own eyes. I think it's going to be the results of safer communities, of safer schools, and look at all these shootings that are happening. I think it's going to come down to that. And yes, it's slow. It might be slow and methodical, but in the long run, it's going to be, you're not going to be able to deny the positive that these actions are taking amongst our communities across the entire nation. That is what you're not going to be able to deny. And because they don't have that immediate result of what we're saying, even though, let me tell you, a lot of these communities where these bad guys have been living, they are so helpful and so grateful. By the way, the immigrant community, the legal immigrant community are the happiest that this pedophile terrorist is no longer living next to them, because that's exactly where they live. They get deported, they come back where? There. Not next to my house, but it's next to theirs. And they're the first ones to applaud what's happening. And I think it's going to be in the long run, unfortunately, but you're going to see it where they're not going to be able to deny the positive positive impact that it brings at the street level.
Speaking of the street level, can you talk about the cartels, the cartel war that Trump has essentially declared? They have had some strong words for it. We know they're doing things. We know there are drones in the skies. Are the American people going to see, results in their own lives from this cartel war?
Absolutely. I think it's the preparations are way underway. Look at what the U.S. military, active military, is on our border now with this zone, this buffer zone that we have on the border. That's a huge step forward. Several things: illegal immigration, obviously the cartels with the drugs, the fentanyl, the meth, the cocaine that is still trying to come into this country. But now you have active duty military, not just to stop to prevent it, But the intelligence that they're gathering, remember these strikers, these little mini tanks that they sent down there, the intel that they're grabbing with those, they could see up to 2 miles. The drones that were flying and countering the drones that the cartels are flying. That's a big problem, by the way. The cartels have been getting away with flying their drones, not only with drugs, but gathering their intel against us. So you're going to see some major changes. I hate to say this again, but it is slow and methodical. The military happens to be that way in preparing, but I think they're doing the right way. They're showing us, they're telling us, listen, this is we're laying the foundation because there's going to be some action, whether it's inside of Mexico. I don't know that yet, but it's definitely going to be, we have enough to do here inside our own borders. Believe me, these cartel members are present everywhere. We need to go after these bad actors here.
They certainly are present here, along with millions and millions of others. Here was Stephen Miller at the White House.
There's 15 million illegal aliens that violently enter the country. If every one of them got the trial that you're asking for, it would take us centuries to remove them. Centuries. We'd be talking about this in 300-400 years. Their great-great-great-grandchildren would be the ones representing them in court. That's how long it would take. Illegal aliens who come to our country have to be removed, and they have to be removed quickly, and that is an essential component of having something that we like to call a country.
Victor, how many are we going to be able to get out in 4 years?
That's the major question, because you saw the millions under other presidents get removed, but they didn't have the obstruction, right? They didn't have the judges ruling against them. And on top of this, Jesse, the procedures were very different. Just even under the Obama years that I worked under, they were the due process that you hear the left talking about is very different now. They have inundated the immigration system with so much paperwork that's the reason why they call this guy, he was sent erroneously. It was because of a piece of paper, which actually means nothing at this point. However, they have made it that much more difficult because now it matters where the person came from, what country that person came from, how that person entered the country. And there is a process there. Now, when it comes to terrorists, all that doesn't exist. By the way, if you come in with a visa, the student visas, or any other kind of visa that these people have come in, by the way, illegally, that you saw President Trump get rid of the CP1 app, and those people no longer have any status. I knew that was going to happen. Now they're fighting to keep the ones that came in under the parole process, which was completely illegal as well. I see that also happening. They're going to take away that permit. But those people, including the overstays that came in with visas, there is no due process there. If you are one of those people in that category, you can get detected and removed immediately. And that's what the part of the left that doesn't understand this, because they don't understand immigration law. All they have to do is research it a little bit. It's in the Immigration Nationality Act that I have here behind me. And it's a matter of messaging, I think, from the White House as well. But it doesn't seem, I mean, Stephen Miller can't put it clearer than what it is. He's crystal clear about it, and they still don't want to hear the truth. And when you have a party siding with the bad guys, siding with terrorists, I don't see them winning another election.
Yeah, it's going to be rough. Good. Victor, thank you, sir. I appreciate it. I would thank you for coming to my YouTube channel, but I know how brilliant it is, and I know you love it here. So subscribe and watch. We're going to start really ramping things up and putting some funny stuff, some interesting stuff out there, some collaborations. Either way, my YouTube channel is officially the place to be. So stick around.